4 years of working towards this one day. It's all the experiences you get to have here. From living in the dorms and fending for myself for the first time to getting to work with Texas football, like where else am I gonna be on the sidelines? Like you don't get those opportunities if you don't go to college. College was not that it wasn't an option, it just was never presented as an option, right? Like, oh, it's there, UTEP's there. Again, nothing wrong with UTEP, but it's your hometown and everyone wants to leave. I applied to Baylor, I applied to Texas, following a girl. However, I have no regrets. I got waitlisted from Baylor, and then Texas accepted me, and getting caught in the moment of like, oh my god, like I got in, and like I just accepted it and started saying like, hey, I'm going to Texas, and then I was at Texas. This is just, it's what you do, right? If someone says, is that good, you don't give them a thumbs up, you give them a hook 'em. As a freshman, I was really into, I lived in the dorms, I got the whole experience. It's really, really cool to be here. It's just too big to be like that family environment, but I don't know, I love it. It is kind of culty. Could be worse, we could be the Aggies.
What's the hardest moment you've had in college?
I can specifically remember I was in my dorm playing Madden with my roommate at the time, and I got the call that my little brother got sick, and it was something really big, and I mean, I cried, but then at the end of the day, I just sat there alone. It's like, I can't do anything. I can't even like comfort him or anything. Yeah. So the dream to play college level football, it grew in college, right? Because in high school, I don't think our high school coach, coming from El Paso, ever pushed that unless he saw that you're just talented. So when I got here and I saw the team, went to my first football game, things like that, I went home that night, looked at the roster. There are plenty of guys who are 5'9", 200 pounds, 180, all that. I'm like, Darren Sproles is in the NFL and he's 5'6". The dream's alive. So I joined the powerlifting team, and I feel I got really strong, and I actually went to a football tryout. And I went to the meeting and everything. They were like, okay, the tryouts are this day. We're just going to evaluate your athleticism. 3 days before, I got really sick. Like, I could not get out of bed. I don't know if it was a flu or what it was, but I missed it because of that. And after that, I was like, there'll be a walk-on tryout next year. There'll be sophomore year, whatever. So I continued with the powerlifting team. And then the dream slowly died. I got to shoot a game with the yearbook staff. That was my first actual game I got to photograph, but and I was like, okay, let's see how big these guys are. 5'9", 200 pounds is different when it's 5'9", 200 pure muscle. Like, they're scary. Proudest moment was when I applied to be a graphic design intern for the football team. I was like, okay, I won't be on the sidelines as a player, but I can be on the sidelines as a photographer. Works out for me because I get to do what I love, I get to incorporate my creativity, and I get to avoid concussions. I work for the football team, and I'm extremely proud of what I've done there. The first time I met a high-profile person was Colt McCoy. He did a photo shoot with Sam Ellinger, passing the torch kind of thing. And my boss was like, hey, you want to go shoot this? And I was like, yes, that's history. Like, yes. I made a composite that Vince Young, Colt McCoy, even some NFL-sponsored accounts on social media shared. Where it's like a photo, but you put in Sam Ellinger, Vince Young, and Colt McCoy talking to each other, and you're supposed to make it look realistic, right? Like, it was just a photo you took on the sidelines, and it blew up, and that was really cool. And at that point, I realized, like, I can make a living doing this. So, well, this goes to my biggest game with Texas football, LSU versus Texas. Game day, which is the show, they travel around the country every week to the biggest game. So it was the biggest game that week. And McConaughey, of course, had to be there. They had to make a whole thing about it. They even, like, he got out of his trailer. He jumped in this car that looks like it has like Bevo's horns and it's burnt orange. He drove it down the street like maybe 500 feet and then hopped out. So when he was walking out of his trailer, I was tasked with photographing that, and he sees me. That was cool. He sees me and he like hook towards me, and then he like goes up. Biggest flex of the year was having McConaughey, or taking McConaughey's profile picture for all his social media accounts, not just one. My boss and I, he was like, where do you want to work? Like, don't look at what's open, just where do you want to work? I told him, you know, man, I know it's random, but Oregon sounds really cool because of the location. It's somewhere completely new to me. It's Oregon, so they have their established program. They put people into the draft every year. And let's be honest, Nike is really cool, and I would love to work near their HQ. And Oregon's known as like the Nike school because of everything. So then, like 2 months went by or something, and Oregon was looking for a lead graphic designer. This is right before we went to spring break, so early March. He's like, it's your job. Let's just figure out this pandemic, because it was starting to ramp up a little, but they were like, you know, we'll bring you out for a spring game or something, right? And then spring break happened. Spring game got canceled. The Big 12 shut everything down, official visits, no one could do anything. And then the pandemic really hit. Spring break was extended to give the school time to go on an online format. So it got extended. It went online. So I go to school from a laptop now. Slowly but surely, everything fell. So yeah, the grad's gone. It has been canceled. They don't know when they're gonna postpone it till. They just say a later date, TBD. My birthday's on the 21st, so I was gonna have a great birthday, and then my graduation was on the 22nd, so my family was gonna be here. Leanna's family was gonna be here. A lot of people were gonna be here. Kansas State called, and I was like, well, I have this other job offer, and Josh even told me, he was like, you know, I want you here. I've seen your work. It's great. We've talked for the last 2 months or whatever. I'm advising you to take that job because I can only offer you maybes, and I don't want to do that. K-State's a great place to start. It's like, I'll see you in a year. Hopes and dreams are to build a brand. That's always what I want to do. I feel really strongly about my work. I'm the director of graphic design. A big part of my job is to make graphics in Photoshop or whatnot for these recruits that our recruiting staff or our coaching staff will send out to them, and they, you know, they're 17-year-old, 18-year-old kids. You make a graphic of them on fire or something, right? And they're like, oh, that's so cool. And so they post it. That gets K-State some visibility on the internet. Repeat. The dream job. Everyone says they want to be the boss. So I want to be the creative director for an established Division I football program. I want to be the top of my industry. If I go NFL, that's fine, but I like college sports. I am graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Radio, Film, Television, RTF. It means the world, obviously. It is cool to be the first in my family. Education's not really valued, and that kind of sucks. I want to change that, obviously, future generations.
We were talking about graduation. You have the option to walk at a different time?
Yes, we just don't know when or how or how it's all going to work, if they'll make a separate graduation for us. When I first came to college, he's like an older brother, Felipe. He's my uncle, but he's 2 years older. So he would make fun of me. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna pay so much money for a piece of paper." And for a while, it got to me because I was like, "Well, shit, you're right." But it's not a piece of paper. I'm ready to go out into the real world. I'm ready to make a living for myself. I don't have to depend on anyone because I know at the end of the day, I have the skills in my career to get a job, to get paid, to make it through. I don't have to ask my mom. I don't have to ask my dad. I don't have to. So that's what it means, I guess. Independence.